Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Newmarket Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 11th of October, 2024. We're going to look at the stakes action from Newmarket, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for racecourses around the world, and I mean around the world. Let's look at the stakes action, races 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So the 147, 225, 3 o'clock, 335, and the 445. So quite a few races to get to. In the second race, the 147 from Newmarket, it is the Group 3 Cornwallis Stakes. It's a Group 3 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $82,500. Race for 2-year-olds here. Field of 12 horses going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. Going to take the 6-horse Treasure Isle as a top selection. Let's go 6-3-5 in the tricast trifecta. 6-3-5 tricast trifecta. Top selection, the 6-horse Treasure Isle. This 2-year colt by No Nay Never here. Ann O'Brien trains. Ryan Moore gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently on the 1st September at Longchamp. 5 furlongs in the Group 3 Peter Arenberg, and he finished third by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and it's a very tough 5 at Longchamp. He settled well towards mid-pack. He moved a little bit late. The winner, Asteris, who was a next start winner, really took off clear, really ran well next start out also. But this horse, he got down the race course well. He's refreshing to the UK again here today, coming to Newmarket for his first outing locally. I think he gets a good race to win here today. I didn't think he ran halfback at the Cur over the 5 in the listed race, winning by a half length on the front end. He quickened up nicely, and he got the job done. You know, a pretty good 5 furlongs that day in the time. Not a bad race that day with the victor there. And the Anglesey Stakes at the Cur over the 6 back in July. He finished 4th by 2 1/4 lengths that day, and he was with him early on. He had the lead, and then I just think the final furlong got to him. I just think his better races have been at 5. The 6 furlong race, just maybe at this point, not to his liking. And then he ran before that in the Tipperary Stakes at Tipperary over the 5. He finished 10th by 9 1/4 lengths that day, and that day he didn't break so well, and that cost him because he never got to the front end. I think coming here today, as long as he breaks, he's going to be a hard horse to beat. I'm going to use him on the ticket. So to recap my selection for the 147, the second race from Newmarket, it's the Group 3 Cornwallis Stakes. We're going to take the 6-horse Treasure Isle, 6-3-5 tricast trifecta here. We're going to go to the third race at 225 now from Newmarket, which is the Group 3 Oh So Sharp Stakes. It's a Group 3 event for Class 1 horses going for an $82,500 purse. Race for 2-year-old fillies. 10 horses are going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs in the Oh So Sharp. I'm going to go take here the number 4-horse Flight, 4-5-1 for me in the tricast trifecta. 4-5-1 tricast trifecta. Top selection, 4-horse Flight. This 2-year-old filly here, Holly Sangster trains. Ocean Murphy gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently in the Group 2 May Hill Stakes at Doncaster over the mile on the 12th of September. He finished third by 2 1/4 lengths that day, and he was with them early on. He had the lead. He just couldn't quicken up to the fullest of the potential that day, but she got down the race course well. Back here against these horses, back to 7, which I think should suit her well. I think she could find that trip to win. She ran 2 back in a maiden race at Sandown over the 7. 31st of August in that Class 2 Fillies main race, where she won by 4 lengths that day. From a tracking trip, she quickened up nicely, and nobody was going to catch her. 83 cents a dollar. I know, wasn't the best price in the world, but still, she ran like an 83 cents a dollar horse should run there. And then prior to that, over the 7 here in Newmarket in the on the July course in a main race, she finished second by 2 1/4 lengths that day. And again, she was with him early on, just kind of yielded going up the hill. What can you do? She just, that hill in the July course could be very tough at times. Come here to the Rolling Mile, where it's not nearly as tough as I think as July course. I think she could find a trip to win. I think the 5-horse Magical Trail's a horse you want to use in your quad pot here for William Buick and Charlie Outby. His win last time out, basically from a tracking trip, going 6, was quite impressive going away with it. He won here going 7 in August in a main race quite easily, also by 2 1/4 lengths on the front end. He's stepping up in some class here today, but I think this horse has some ability to get a good trip. I'll use him on the quad pot to begin it off. But to recount my selection for the third, the 225 for Newmarket, it's the Group 3 Oh So Sharp Stakes. We're going to go take the 4-horse Flight. Give kudos to the 5-horse Magical Trail, 4-5-1 tricast trifecta, 4-5 in the multi-race. The fourth race now, the 3 o'clock from Newmarket. It is the Group 2 Challenge Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $159,500. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards here, a field of 11 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the Rolling Mile. I'm going to go take the number 8 horse here, 10 Bob Tony as a top selection. 8-2-5 for me in the tricast trifecta. 8-2-5 tricast trifecta. trifecta. Top selection 8 horse 10 Bob Tony. 3 colt by Night of Thunder. Ed Walker trains Tar Marquand. Gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently in France in the Prix de Pin, the Group 3 Prix de Pin at Longchamp over the 7th, the 15th of September, and he finished second by 1/4 lengths behind Top Gear, who's running back this one today for Stefan Pesquier. But this horse that day, he just stalked all the way around the race course. He ran a good race behind the winner who's running back in this one. He just missed, but off the bench, not a bad race in defeat. He's coming here to Newmarket, where he's run very well in the past, getting some time between races, or second off the bench also, which is going to be good also. I think he can find that trip to win. He ran in the German 2000 Guineas 2-back in Cologne over the mile, soft ground, 20th of May. He finished 4th by 1 1/4 lengths that day, and he just never really got going. He kind of plodded along. It just wasn't his day to win. It was an improvement off the Guineas before here at Newmarket over the mile, where he finished 8th by 11 lengths that day, where he just completely hit the wall. He wasn't really getting into it, but he ran here in a conditions race back in during the Craven meeting, where he won by length from the front end. He really won for fun. I thought that was a very good effort. Refreshing here against these horses. I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. I think the 2 horse here, Noble Dynasty, for William Buick, win also on Godolphin. His win 2-back in the Criterion Stakes here over the 7 in June was quite impressive. Winning by 3/4 length from a tracking trip going up the hill well. He wasn't going away. He saw some tough horses after that in the Lennox Stakes over the 7 at Goodwood, where he finished 8th by 12 lengths, where he just was never really comfortable. He never got out of the gate so clearly. I think that cost him that day. And then at Newmarket over the 7 and a handicap here, Guineas weekend, win by 2 lengths, basically from a front end trip. He wasn't going away, especially second off the bench after a 2-year refreshing. I thought that was quite impressive. He's up there in age. He is gelding here today, and he's missed some time between races, but since coming back, he's really become a decent horse. I'm going to give him a shot here on this ticket. But to recount my selection for the 4th, the 3 o'clock from Newmarket, now it's the Group 2 Challenge Stakes. We're going to take a shot with the 8 horse 10 Bob Tony. Give kudos to the 2 horse Noble Dynasty. 825 Tricast Trifecta, 8-2 in the multi-race. The 5th race, now the feature, 335 from Newmarket's race. One of the better race of the year, I think, in the UK for the fillies. It's the Group 1 BET365 Fillies Mile. It's a Group 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $635,000, race for 2-year-old fillies, 7 horses, going the 1,600-meter journey or a mile on the turf course. I'm going to go take the 6 horse January as a top selection. 652 for me in the Tricast Trifecta. 652 Tricast Trifecta, top selection 6 horse January. This Cool Morone O'Brien trained 2-year-old filly by Kingman. Ryan Moore gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently in the Group 2 Mayhill Stakes at Doncaster over the mile, where the horse finished second by 1/4 lengths, and he just had a good tracking trip. Really wanted to go. Sean Levy, who rode the horse, that they kind of held on to the brakes a little bit. He moved a little bit late. Desert Flower had to jump on him laying 1 for Godolphin, but this horse got down the race course okay. I think coming back to a mile here today, changing up the tables, getting Ryan up where this horse could be more forwardly paced into it, I think this horse could find a trip to win. She ran 2-back in the Churchill Stakes at Tipperary over the 7.5 furlongs, 9th of August, where the horse won by 4 lengths from a tracking trip. He basically won in a trot. That was a very good effort that day. And then at the Curra and the Air Lyle Stud Stakes over the 6th, cutting back in trip from the previous race at Gowran. She finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths that day, and she stalked that day. I do think the trip was a little bit too short. I think she 7 would have been better out the day, but she got down the race course decently. I think refreshing against these horses with some very good runs, I think she's a very likely winner in the spot. I think the 5 horse Dreamy for Tom Marquand and Anne O'Brien is the second likeliest winner here. Most recently in a Group 3 at the Curve of the Mile back in August, she won by 1.5 lengths, and from a tracking trip, she flew home clear late. Even on debut at Goodwood in the main race, she won by a neck, and again, she was all out, much the best. She ran 2 very good races of the mile. She's coming here today with a little bit given the ground. I think she could find that trip to win also at 5-1 with a good pedigree with American Fair on the sire side. I think this horse could find the winner's enclosure. I'll definitely use her on the ticket. But to recap my selection for the featured 335, now the 5th race in Newmarket, it's the Group 1 BET365 Mile. Gonna take the 6 horse January. Give kudos to the 5 horse Dreamy. 652 Tricast Trifecta. Use them both in the quad pod. Now we're gonna head over to the 7th race now, the 445 on the program from Newmarket, the nightcap here. It is the Group 3 Pride Stakes. It's a Group 3 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $108,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Fillies mares only. Field of 15 horses, going 2,000 meters or a 1.25 miles on the rolling mile. I'm going to go take the number 14 horse, Place of Safety. 14-10-3 for me in in the TriCash trifecta. 14-10-3 TriCash trifecta. Top selection of 14 horse place of safety. 3 over by Night of Thunder, Jonathan 80,000 trains, Jamie Spencer, the veteran, gets to mount. They ran the horse most recently in the 27th of September here in Newmarket, so 2 weeks ago in the mile-and-a-half Group 3 Dubai Stakes, where she finished third by 4 1/4 lengths that day, and she was with them early on, setting some good fractions. She just yielded late. I don't know if she wants to go the mile and a half. I think she wants to go a mile and a quarter. She's back at it today. She gets a very good inside post, or it's basically a straight mile anyway, but I think from the inside post, she could find a trip to win that day rather than going a mile and a half, which she just wasn't handling her last few starts. She ran back an illicit race here in the Chalice Stakes over the mile and a half on the July course, on a very fast July course, 3rd of August, where she finished second by 1 1/4 lengths that day, and she was with them early on. The winner really took off clear. Like I said, I just don't think she wants to go the longer trip. She went over the mile 3 at Kempton over the poly track in a novice race back in July. Went by a half a dozen lengths from a tracking trip. She got the job done, but she had to be used a lot that day. But and even on debut over the mile and a quarter, she ran decently, but finally cutting back and trip off some decent runs. I think she could win. I think the 10 horse here, Dan Sequence for William Buick and Godolphin could win also. Is coming back for her first start since the Fringe 2000 Guineas, where she just did not do a lot of running. She finished 14th by 14 lengths. I thought you saw a very tired horse with a very quick turnaround from the English Oaks before that at Epsom, where she finished second by 3 lengths. The winner took off clear, but this horse placed well behind her at 7-1. Her races before that, she ran horribly in the Guineas, where she just never really got going. The race before that in the Neil Gwynn, she went for fun. She's back here. She likes this course. I think she could get the job done. I'll use her on the ticket. But recap my selections now for the 7th at 4:45 from Newmarket. It's the Group 3 Pride Stakes. We're going to go take the 14 horse place of safety. Give kudos to the 10 horse Dan Sequence. 14-10-3 TriCash trifecta. Use the 14 and 10 both in the multi-race. With that being said, good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.